got given a DC14 the other day. The poor thing is dead. The motor is blown up. The house I got it from had no front side at all. It's having a pretty much complete structural rebuild. So no guesses for why this is no longer with us. But the DC14 is probably as worth as they're going to get. They're not really collectible unless they're really mint or boxed. They're not really that old either. They are just the old Dyson that people talk about. So we're going to have a look at this one. We'll see if it's going to be a viable project, and then we'll go from there. Oh, yes, hello, my vacuum cleaner chums. How are you today? We're going to treat this as a bit of a DC14 masterclass, really, in how to pick an alright one, how to pick one that you're not going to lose too much money with. And we'll start with the top, with the wand. Now, this one, we're getting quite lucky because it isn't that worn. That is nothing at all. You can get rid of that. Look, you can see it all peels off. So you can just run a little razor blade around there and cut that off. It also has the wand cap, which is an annoyingly expensive part to buy. You've got to pay like £2.50 plus £4.99 postage for it because of the size of it. Very annoying indeed. We have all of our tools, and the DC14 is annoying because obviously you need the angular crevice tool. The tools are okay, but they're also here. We have a dusting brush and oh gosh, okay, we don't have an upholstery tool. That is as good as scrap, but we'll rotate it one last time and leave it on there. Let's have a look at the cable, which to me isn't a massive issue actually, because I have lots of flexes from scrap Dysons, but obviously to you it could be, because you might have to buy one, and that's fine. It's again just filthy. Oh, ew! There is our orange hose. Should wash up. Hopefully will wash up. It's not split. That's the main thing really. It's intact. It's dusty. Wow. It should do okay. Like I say, it's not. Wow. Look at the state of it. Oh god. Yeah. So who knows really? It should be okay. It'll do for the price that I'm going to sell this machine for, but yeah, it's certainly a bit disgusting. So I'll put that back on there, like so. And we'll get the wand back in and put it down like that. And then we can move on to the Psycho. Look, and it's done what every Dyson does, which is splatter the absolute pants off of everywhere else bar where the dirt is supposed to go. But then again, it could be because there's no filter in it, and yeah, there wasn't when I bought it either. So that's possibly what has killed the thing dead. Bless it. It's not meant for DIY anyway, and then using it without a filter is just asking for trouble really. I just remember we don't have our post-motor filter removal tool handy. Little flat blade screwdriver, because we'll do that while we're here. One thing to note is that this, which isn't a filter on the DC14, has got a latch from the older Dysons fitted, and somebody's had this off, which is the seal that runs around there. Not a massive problem for us, since I've got to get in there anyway, but crikey, how they managed to pull that off and try to get into it. Let's see what the carnage to the filter is. Oh. Yeah, I can smell it. It's not done the full explodey thing yet, but it's very carbony, and yeah, it's not a genuine filter, I don't think, but there are nowadays. That's decent enough. We can throw that away very nicely indeed. Our blockage relief channels, are they full of rubble? A little bit. Let's look underneath, where we see that the base plate is very, very worn indeed, and several of the wheels are complete scrap, really. They don't rotate at all. Middle one's doing a good job, but yeah, they've not moved for a while. Everything else seems okay. The clutch will get a new belt anyway. I'm not that fussed about that. Internal hose isn't torn, so that's excellent. Literally all this thing needs is a wash, a motor, a set of belts and some filters. And wouldn't you know it, I happen to have, it's a used motor, but it's a good used motor. It will certainly do the job. So my plan is, because it doesn't really warrant a before and after video on what is a very boring Dyson DC14 animal, I'm going to now cut to a couple of days later when I've refurbished this, put the new motor in it, done what needs to be done, and yeah, we'll have a look at how it turned out and see if it is worth indeed farting around with DC14s in 2021. It's a few days later now, and our Dyson DC14 is looking a lot different to what it once did. Yes, it almost looks really, really good now. It's certainly cleaner. There is no plaster dust everywhere, and I've got rid of 97% of all of the paint spatters. Crikey, this thing has been through the balls. And on the face of it, it looks very, very good now. It is very faded though, and cannot help but notice that when you take off the Cyclone, and yeah, notice the difference between where the Cyclone goes and everywhere else. It's not quite as bad as the older ones do. Look, even the hose cuff at the back has faded as well. We'll take a closer look at all that in a second. But yes, Dyson DC14s do also fade as well. Let us drop the cable, which has had all the paint removed from it. All of the crack and gunk is gone. Lift out the wand, and the hose has been washed. It is stained though, and unfortunately that is something that makes this not look very nice. Even though it is clean, it is, you know, really, really orange. Bless it. I have trimmed off. You run a little knife around the inside of there. Look, you can get all of the mushed up plastic. It's where people use it like that, and then eventually it scrubs it down and just smushes it around and makes it look terrible. Quite honestly, doesn't look quite so bad anymore. Our tools are done. Our Cyclone is cleaned, and now it is clean. We can see that this part is fading differently to the top and that part, which is another Dyson DC14 thing that they like to do. These are starting to become a little bit troublesome when they're older. Underneath, as you can see, look, I broke a little bit of it taking off the seed wheel. I had to put some new sole plate wheels on, but hey, when it's stood up like that, you can't notice. And I'd imagine that 90% of the general public who have a Dyson DC14 are never going to have a look at the underneath of it ever again, which is why I fix so many of them. Let us plug it in, because yes, we have ourselves a different motor now. It's not a brand new one. I had a few alright used ones, and because this is a bit faded, I'm not going to ask top dollar for it. I think it's probably justified, although does it clean? Well, it doesn't like this carpet, does it? That was a silly idea. Let's get rid of that. I think it's just a bit too deep for it. Seems to be. This keeps falling off as well. This is the one that came with it, look. Oh, nice and clean. But then I'll keep falling out. Let's try again. Better. works really nicely on a carpet that it likes. Picked up a little bit of fluff, considering I vacuumed and done a few other after videos on this carpet already today, so that's nice. And it's still pulling stuff out, and yeah, everything about it is just a lot better than it was. There's even a filter now. Look, I found a washed. This is what gacky old Dyson filters come up like. You run them through the washing machine, as long as they're not trash, averagely used, they're okay. And that is the story of the free DC14 that I saved from a building site, pretty much. Obviously, you know how to take these apart if you've watched my other videos, and my threads on Manchester Vacs, and the videos of my peers and friends on Facebook. These are now of the age where, like the DC07, DC33 parts are dirt cheap. The knowledge to get them apart is readily available, and when you're done, you basically have what was a £300 vacuum cleaner for free in just, a decade later. Still doesn't mean it works any less well than it would have done when it was new. And yeah, I do like DC14. I think, as much as I prefer using an 07, can't beat the reliability of one of these. They are not bad. I also noticed that the glamour caps are missing from the wheel. One's shattered when I tried to take it off, and again I decided there probably wasn't much point in finding another pair to put on, because I don't think I've got any purple ones, and that would probably just look worse than not having them at all. So there we go, my free Dyson DC14, the before and after in one video. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed, and I will see you soon. Bye bye.